I'd like to do this poem because I don't usually do it. It's sort of set in France, and it has drug references rather like young Brett's poem did, but it's about somebody else. And it's called For Laurence. She bred wolves in the hills above Tournon, a wine town. She'd done her days in court, spent her time in jail. Momo, the Algerian, was long gone. Gilles, the cook, has his grandma's house now, maybe locked up again. Good with fruit trees, but too many flick knives. Milan, that was a cold stone prison. Claude still laughs like a duck, quack, quack. Maurice ran the Bar Normal, he died of AIDS. She looked like David Bowie round the time of Diamond Dogs. That quiff and long arms built better walls than men did. 3 packets of neocodeine, 10 francs each can get you off. The pharmacists know the game, but say, bonjour, madame, if you got the front. Her laughter had a gurgle. Maybe she laughed too much. Started with German shepherds, one called Socrate. They get weak in the back as they get older. It's her and wolves now. The paysans sure don't understand her and the wolves. She chucked the boyfriend, no more city guys in leather coats or country jerkins. She can't drink her liver, but lopes the rooms, redecorates. The animals obey her, want to kill the stranger. Their eyes are blue like ice. Her fur is greyer, still laughs. Somewhere in the middle of France, the cold of the mountain rolls down. Bowie's still a pin-up, wearing leopard skin clothes. She clicks her fingers, builds a fire. The wolves settle. Over the tree line, the moon rises. Leopard-skinned girls wore communion dresses, once dreamers of the absolute. Thank you.
I do translations of Russian poetry. I also do original work. And a lady who comes here often told me that she loved what she called the black and fluorescent red of Russian poetry. So I'm going to do a translation of a fluorescent red poem, and then a translation of a black poem, and then an original that is both. So first, the red one. Your fabulous enunciation, hot whistling of the bird of prey, create a true representation of silken eyelashes, I say. Why, and the head has fallen, what I'm asking you, and far away the leaves are calling, we live upon this planet too. So let them say that love is flighty, flightier 100 times is death. The soul is striving still and mighty, our lips fly toward it with each breath. And in your whisper, so much silk, and so much air, and so much light, that as if blinded, we both drink the sunless brew of windy night. This is the red one. Here's the black one. I still can weigh the word, and still, the first one verse I do repeat. You dressed the table for the 6th, but 7th one you did forget. It is not merry for the guests, idle is pitcher of crystal. Sad are they all, sad are you too, but saddest is the one uncalled. It is not merry and not light, on faces are the streams of rain. How could you over such a table forget the seventh one? How could you dare not understand, besides the father, daughter, girl, besides the mother, son, and friend, the 7th, the time in this world you dressed the table for the 6th, but with 6 the world did not die, more than the universe at peace, more than that scarecrow with yours, mine, shy just like a thief, and never touching but a soul. Between the silverware unmade, I sit a 7th one, uncalled. cold. At once I overthrew the glass, and all that thirsted to be poured, all salt from eyes, all blood from wounds, from tablecloth on the floorboards. And there's no dawning, no parting. Broken as spell wakes up the home, like death unto the wedding feast. I'm life that to dinner have come, and I still scold for nobody, no husband, father, son, or friend. You dressed the table for 6 souls, did not sit me upon the end.
I thought I'd try something different. This one rhymes.
Way to go. My God.
When I grow up, I want to be as strong as gum tree boughs, as peaceful as a paddock filled with gently grazing cows. I want to be as free as dust, carried on the breeze, and as unique as rock pools, revealed when the tide recedes. I want to be warm and safe and bright, like a fire in the hearth, and I want to have direction, like a secret winding path. I want to be as reliable as the magpie's song at dawn, and as pretty as each warbled note, ringing clearly through the morn. I want to feel the sun above and feel the earth below. I want all the possibility of an endless winding road. I want to be a mystery, fertile like the forest floor, and I want to have the passion of a distant rumbling storm. I want the wind to catch my hair and brush against my cheek. I want the tranquil nature of the slowly winding creek. I want to be as tall as mountains when the mist begins to clear, and I want to be as startling as the bright canola fields. When I grow up, I want to keep on growing like the grain, be as welcoming as an open door, and as welcome as the rain.
Okay, it's called Child of 1851.
Modern, modern, everywhere I look.
Sometimes with the rains, it looks just like home, which was none too tidy either.
It's like the emperor's new clothes every day of the week.
The crop failed, I sold the horse, but with the rains,
The colours for the moment are black, beige and silver, a mirror for secret depression.
Paddy came over last night and drank my whiskey. He gets so mad, I grow afraid.
Jonathan Dark's body failed and he died in Adelaide. That's what I heard.
The kangaroos up the back paddock disappeared into the tree line. Mother and father, if you could see this country.
We keep lecturing each other about what Australia is, as if we didn't know it already.
Mary came out to visit on Mr. Cullinan's dray, and she cooked scones in the ashes of the fireplace. Next year, a cow, milk with the tea.
The poet won an Oz Council grant to stay in the ghost houses of Australia, when there are no ghosts except for the ones that exist in our heads.
Walked into town carrying my shoes to register for a water carrier's licence. raise my hat to Mr. Smith.
Refuse to talk about arts practice. Refuse to do a PhD about arts practice. Refuse to wear black.
Sweeney's Creek flooded. Silly Paddy had chopped down all the trees. Good soil washed away. Golden wattle, a winter flower. It smells waxy and strange.
I love MasterChef. It's a vindication of reality TV, zooming in on ordinary people just a bit better than ourselves. God, how over the last 10 years the better sort of person has hated reality TV.
The illustrated papers didn't arrive. Doc Grant rode out and delivered the Houlihan boy, stillborn. Since buying the Jersey cow, Daisy, have been hand-feeding a poddy calf.
Dreadlocks and tattoos that start at our necks and right down. Is this the best we can do at self-expression?
Shot 2 wood ducks. Good eating.
Sunday drive. We drove up the back road and disappeared into the country behind the country. Magic mushrooms turn blue.
2 Afghan spice merchants arrived late today, hot and dusty, but couldn't take the chicken we offered them. Killed the wrong way. Very polite.
The tram driver stopped the tram and told the glue sniffers to get off. Everyone looked embarrassed.
The grass this morning was starry in the frost. It was as cold as the year I left. The wood here makes grand fires.
They say, believe in global warming, but it doesn't stop them flying to Thailand. It doesn't stop them flying to Coolangatta on Jetstar. Steve did a reading in Canberra last weekend.
It was a grand send-off for Mrs. O'Callaghan last weekend. Father O'Flaherty didn't know where to put his feet beside the grave. All the boys are fools. Then there's Mary.
Another dinner party for vegetarians. Fried halloumi in a warm salad. Yum! But what about roast chicken? What about all the fish in the sea eating each other? But then I think, don't bother. I'm drowning in compassion.
We chopped down 2 trees, hand adds timber for the barn. Young Billy almost chopped his thumb off. 3 dead lambs and 1 dead sheep, I eaten out by crows. The more I deal with sheep, the more I think how stupid they are.
Driving down the road today in the small car, I kept up the pace, but the 4-wheel behind just had to pass. Driver had a bald head.
At the Hibernian ball, made sure I was on Mary's dance card. We danced the Pride of Erin. I wore the suit I bought from Mrs. O'Callaghan's funeral. In the supper room, we ate oyster soup and sherry trifle. Paddy McHugh was more drunk than usual. Didn't raise my glass to Queen Victoria.
Blog site. Does Julia Gillard represent a new paradigm of non-specific gender politics? Isn't feminism supposed to be better? Did the mining companies hijack the so-called democratic process?
Sometimes the new country is like the old country, but with gum trees. Hired a contractor to build stone walls. The north wind this February, last of the tomatoes died.
Black Saturday. Rescue services are fearful but organised. Sunday morning TV. A helicopter rides across Marysville. Silver roofs. Black, silver, black, silver, black.
I ride across to Mary's place on the horse I've called Silver. Ask her to marry me. A bouquet of lily of the valley, pulled from this earth I've been forced into.
We used to be buried. The cemeteries are out there, angel statues. Then we've been cremated, a puff of smoke. Now they're talking about dissolving us in chemicals, a quick dissolve.
She said, yes. She's got Chinese eyes, an old Irish thing before the Gaels arrived. She's bringing a cupboard full of linen.
Jennifer Compton's knitting me a new scarf. She knitted Les Murray's jumper on cigarettes and caffeine. Out the back of the Dan O'Connell Hotel, we all talk shit. The fire smokes. The chicken parma looks better than it tastes. The fiddlers fiddle. No one listens.
Thank you.
I'm going to do an old poem because I've tried for 20 years to get it published in magazines. I've been lucky, but this one I could never get published, and I finally cracked in a very obscure Canadian stroke Alaskan magazine this week. Probably the town has a population of 50 or something, but anyway. There's a little story to this poem. I was living in a rooming house in South Yarra, and a beautiful girl was living there, and all these blokes are jealous, and they put poems underneath her door and signed my name, and 2 weeks later I ended up at Royal Park Mental Institution. And I appealed because I didn't want to be there, so I had to talk in front of 12 doctors, and one of the doctors said, "You're depressed." And I said, "Well, I'm a writer, I'm supposed to be depressed." And they said, "If you're a writer, do a poem." So there on that spot I had to do a poem, and this is the one I did. Larry was a lion, a rough and ready, tough and heady, mean and lean, take no crap from any one lion. Larry was a lion who thought he was a zebra. I think I'm a zebra, therefore I must be a zebra. Larry quit the prowl, no more howling, no more growling for this little zebra. Then along came a hunter who thought he was a hunter and killed every lion in Africa except Larry, who was too busy acting like a zebra. And there's a moral in there, but don't ask me to explain it. And then when I finished, the doctor said, "Well, you better explain it." And I rolled my eyes, fuck. And so I said, "Well, I used to be a lion, I used to lead a violent life, but now I'm an artist." And the very next day they let me out. Thank you.
This is called The Perfect Muse. And I wrote this the other day, and I was on Brunswick Street, and a lady strutted by with her geometry, and I wrote this poem called The Perfect Muse. So it's new, so just bear with me. Come along for the erratic ride that it is. Is that it? Sorry, I'm done, but I'll just do one more. Sorry, I'm not done at all. I'm lying. Okay. The Perfect Muse. She is red and black, strutting, colours of attack, cutting the white air with purposeful strides, her grey sky stare, her immaculate pride as tight as her ponytail. She slices the backdrop of winter, the pavement hails her heavy boots, pales beneath her geometry. She checks her reflection in silver spoons. She pays attention to the moon's cycles in hushed tones in her lover's ear, in booths, of cafes with pictures of Betty Page on the toilet door. The grey-blue landscape of her thoughts amidst rose-hued rooms, the chalk white of her face is a stunning composition against the ambient glow of Art Deco lamps in dens where the men all want her. Her boyfriend breathes her in, She stamps out all his questioning, decants his rants with a steel metal pitcher into little cups. She collects his sunken soggy butts and nicotine stains. All the unravelling threads from his brain, she simply ties them up in a neat bow and snips off the excess. How can she be so clear, so uncluttered? A place for all his baggage to fall, a place for him to unpack, and she attacks his fuzzy philosophy with mathematic eyes. And he cannot tell if she really is linear or if this is all a disguise. Does she carry around a wounded, tangled marionette? He wants to prick her to see if she bleeds red or to see if her blood is blue. He needs to prick her to see if she even has a womb, to press against her interior walls to find out if she's even a woman at all. The perfect muse, is she shallow? Is she deep? And afterwards he watches her sleep, projects images of himself onto her canvas skin and watches the reruns of his own home movie over and over again.
This is called a Hill of Beans in Dumfries. A sort of melancholy, rain setting in for eternity. Hyperborean gloom, the way clouds lie in hammocks, almost touching earth with their arses. Glistening cobblestones, slate roof slats. A crow becomes an oracle of things we can imagine. Its feathers glistening, the smooth shaft of its beak stabbing at insects. A cafe half full with people who have nowhere else to go. An old tramp counts cigarette butts with nicotine-stained fingers. The waitress hasn't the heart to ask him to leave. His odour is a fug of stale piss, dead skin, accumulated sweat. This is Dumfries, a small Scottish town that has history, if I can be bothered to look. Instead, I stir the dregs of the coffee cup, watch people with umbrellas through the ghost-smudged windows, wonder whether life is composed of thinking about what next to do, or whether what we do amounts to a hill of beans. Thank you very much.
This poem is kind of new, and it's called Rain. When it rains now, a road will always flood. Something has gone awry with the city's drainways and pipes. In traffic jams, we wait, forced patient, captive audience to drive time radio. I tune into the top rating show. There must be a reason why millions listen every day. They have a way with words, these larrikin boys. Call in with stories about cows and grandmothers, they say, and make each caller sound funny. They have radio sexy voices. No one sounds like that in real life. My rubber wipers slap at the glass, heater roar and accelerator pedal squeaks. Red cars glisten by the side of the road. Wish I was in the back seat, falling asleep, when the murmuring of adult voices used to make everything safe. Or my first boyfriend and I steaming the windows of his white Sigma with sweet lies about love. I'm in the driver's seat now and the journey demands concentration. It is dangerous to drift in weather like this. Slow travel and scattergun voices bring on bridge amnesia. Know I got across it somehow, but can't recall the details. I don't want to get lost. The safest thing may be to wind down the windows, let the rain blow in, and turn the radio off. Thanks.